Okay, is everybody ready? Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Virginia City Council Chambers. This is a regularly scheduled City Council meeting. I will call this meeting to order. Today's date is Tuesday, June 8th, 2021. The time is 5:30 p.m. Pam, would you please take the roll call?
Baraboo,
Present.
Friedlieb,
Here.
Paulson,
Present.
Yondich,
Present.
Johnson,
Here.
Aaron Sally is absent, Cuffey.
Present. Would everyone please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, thank you. We'll move to item 4 on the agenda, which is the public forum. Does anyone in the audience wish to address the council this evening? Seeing none, we'll move to item 5, the consent agenda. The following items will be enacted by one motion unless a councilor or a citizen of the City of Virginia requests that these items be considered separately. Item 5.1 is the approval and corrections of the minutes of the regular meeting that was held on May 21st, 2021, and the special meeting that was held on June 2nd and 3rd, 2021. Item 5.2 is the adoption of Finance Resolution Number 21-011, the schedule of bills. Item 5.3, approve pay estimate number 12 to Kraus Anderson for the Ewens Field redevelopment in the amount of $137,153.98. Item 5.4, approve pay estimate number 12 to Kraus Anderson for the MEC in the amount of $2,424.35. Item 5.5, approve pay estimate number 1 to Casper Construction for the 2021 Street and Infrastructure Improvement Project in the amount of $251,919.46. Item 5.6, approve the travel request for Chief Alan Lewis of the Fire Department to attend the Fire Rescue International Conference July 26th through the 31st, 2021 in Charlotte, North Carolina, and there is no cost to the city. Item 5.7 is approve the transient merchant license for John Masari, doing business as Generous Jerry's Fireworks Incorporated. Item 5.8, approve the food truck special transient licenses for the following vendors contingent upon submitting all the required paperwork. 5.8A, Larry Lanska, doing business as the Colonel's Best Kettle Corn. Item 5.8B, Stephen Elliott, doing business as Becky's Oriental Foods. Item 5.8C, David Capanoli, doing business as Cappy's Kettle Corn. Item 5.8D, Keith Schreibe, doing business as Schreibe's Concession. Item 5.8E, Chris Carney, doing business as Simply Nuts. And 5.8F, John Pampanaro, doing business as Yanni's Original Euros. And late addition this afternoon, item 5.8G, Kevin White, doing business as K&B Concessions. These are the consent agenda items before the council, looking for council action.
Also move the consent agenda, Mayor.
Councilor Berber moves to approve the consent agenda, supported by Councilor Beyondich. Is there any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Item 6, appearances. We have no one scheduled to appear before the council this evening. This is one more opportunity for anyone in the audience who would like to address the council. Please come forward at this time. Seeing none, we'll move to item 7, unfinished business, of which there is none. Item 8, discussion items. Item 8.1, adopt the resolution to accept the Coronavirus Local Fiscal Recovery Fund established under the American Rescue Plan Act.
So moved.
Moved to approve by Councilor Beyondich and supported by Councilor Friedlieb. Is there any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Item 8.2, adopt a resolution to hire summer recreation coaches. Any changes at all? We have Brian Silber, Park and Rec, and he shakes his head no. It's just what we've done in the past. Looking for a motion to formally approve the hire of these summer recreation coaches.
So moved.
Moved by Counselor Freely and supported by Counselor Beyondich. Is there any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Item 8.3, adopt a resolution authorizing an application to the USDA Rural Development Community Facilities Loan Fund for the financing of the Public Safety Center project.
Also move the resolution.
Move to approve by Counselor Paulson and supported by Counselor Johnson. Is there any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Item 8.4, adopt a resolution accepting a donation for the Virginia Public Library.
I'll move acceptance of the donation.
Moved by Counselor Johnson to approve and supported by Counselor Beyondich. Is there any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Item 8.5, adopt a resolution approving a 6-month leave of absence without pay for single-role paramedic Ella Rose Del Greco.
So moved.
Moved by Counselor Johnson and supported by Counselor Freely. Is there any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. We'll move to item 9, committee reports. The Committee of the Whole meeting that was held on June 1st, 2021, and we'll turn this portion of the City Council meeting over to our City Administrator, Britt C. Bennis. Britt?
Thank you. At the June 1st Committee of the Whole meeting, Mr. Jeff Dam, a former city councilor, was present to discuss the request for a tree planting at the Children's Memorial Park on 3rd Street South. It was moved and supported to approve the request to allow for assistance from the Park and Recreation Department for stump removal and tree planting at the Children's Memorial Park.
So moved.
Moved to approve by Counselor Beyondich and supported by Counselor Johnson. Is there any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Julie Spearing from DSGW gave a presentation to the council on the furniture, fixtures, and equipment design for the Miners Event and Convention Center, or the MEC. It was moved and supported to approve the bid package for the Daniel Paul Furniture Package to Range Office Supply in the amount of $108,570.
So moved.
Moved to approve by Counselor Johnson,
I'll
supported
support.
by Counselor Baraboo. Is there any further discussion? Counselor Paulson.
Thank you, Mayor. The design team committee met yesterday, and we did have some discussion on the two packages that are coming forward for us to vote on. And prior to that, Julie Spearing did not have the quotes in order for the design team to make a recommendation. But what, just wanted to reiterate, what we did discuss was that we were trying to do our best to spread the business throughout our local vendors, our local partners. And because the votes or the bids came in the way they did, was the reason that it's being moved forward the way it is being moved forward here tonight from the Committee of the Whole. So I just wanted to make that clear.
Very good. Thank you,
Thank you.
Counselor Paulson. Yes, thank you. So it has been moved and supported under 9.1B to adopt this resolution for the bid package of Daniel Paul Furniture to Range Office Supply in the amount of $108,570. Is there any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
It was moved and supported to approve the bid package for the KI Furniture Package to Range Office Supply in the amount of $157,533.88.
Okay, on to 9.1C, do I have a motion?
Also
Do I
moved.
have a motion?
Also moved, Mayor.
Moved by Counselor Baraboo. Is there support?
Support.
Support by Counselor Freely to adopt the resolution to approve the bid package for the KI Furniture Package to Range Office Supply in the amount of $157,533.88. Is there any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
It was moved and supported to approve the bid package for the miscellaneous items recoat, but omitting the beverage cooler from that package.
So moved.
Moved by Counselor Johnson. Is there support?
I'll support.
Support by Counselor Paulson. Further discussion, just a clarification. The bid package for the miscellaneous items requote, we're requoting that, right? There is not a vendor that's been selected. Is that correct?
Get that, Brian?
Okay.
Could you repeat the question?
Well, it says, I misunderstood here. Approve the bid package for the miscellaneous items requote, but omitting the beverage cooler. So does it mean we've rebid it and we're waiting for that bids to come back, or do we have a vendor already approved for that?
We had approved the rebid of the miscellaneous items, but you had pulled off the decision until tonight for the beverage cooler so that you could have more information about the beverage cooler, which is in your packet.
Yes, okay, and thank you. So we're just rebidding the miscellaneous items minus the cooler, is that correct?
Correct.
Yes.
Thank you very much for that clarification. Okay, on item 9.1D, did we have a motion? We need a motion? Yeah, we need a motion. Yeah, we need a motion to approve the bid package for the requote for the miscellaneous items, is that correct? Okay, thank you. Moved and supported. Is there any further discussion on item 9.1D? Counselor Baraboo.
Yeah, it's just for the miscellaneous, it's not for the requote, correct? It's just for those items that are the miscellaneous. The
Correct.
requote is separate, that's in the package later on, correct? Okay.
Correct, yes, yes.
Okay.
Thank you. Moved and supported. Is there any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Now I should just go to 9.1D. Britt?
Yep, 9.1DA, we were looking for more information on the coolers. In your packet, you can see the two different types of coolers. We have three bids on the two bids on one type and one bid on the other type for our discussion today.
Thank you. And what is your recommendation, Brian?
Keeping in mind that we are a B3 facility, all of our appliances should be Energy Star certified, so I would recommend going with the lower the two quotes for the Marvel refrigerator.
So moved.
A move by Counselor Freely for that recommendation by staff.
I'll
Is there support? Support by Counselor Paulson. Is there any further discussion? Counselor Johnson.
Clarification, that is to Purpose TV and Appliance for $2169.
Okay, would you please repeat that again, Counselor Johnson?
Purpose TV and Appliance for $2169.
Thank you. So that's the motion, approval. Okay, thank you. Any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Mr. Brian Silber presented the center hung scoreboard change order. It was moved and supported to approve the resolution for the change order PCO 86 for the MEC regarding center hung scoreboard in the amount of $295,255.44.
Thank you.
I move the resolution.
Counselor Johnson moves to approve this resolution for a PCO or change order number 86 for the MEC regarding the center hung scoreboard. Is there support?
I'll support in anticipation of sponsorship for said amount.
Supported by Counselor Freely in the amount of $295,255.44. And this is contingent upon the sponsorship by the two parties. Brian?
Which should be in your next committee of the whole packet.
Very good, thank you. Moved and supported. Is there any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
We had discussion at the committee of the whole meeting regarding the professional services agreement for the Wellness Center. It was It was directed that city staff rewrite the RFP and bring to the council tonight. In your packet, you will see the review, the updated request proposals for the Wellness Center.
Okay, thank you, Britt. Questions or comments regarding 9.1F of the updated proposals, request for proposals for the Wellness Center, which is in our packet this evening. Councilor Paulson.
Thank you, Mayor. So I guess I just have a couple questions just regarding the pages. On the first page, Pam, is that the advertising, that is the page that goes out in the advertisement, is that correct? And then underneath the following pages is the actual request for proposal that if anyone needs that clarified, they can email and actually get the contents of that, which is included in the packet here.
Correct.
Okay.
It's usually on our website, too.
Yep, okay. And I really appreciate the rewrite on this. I've read it and reread it, and I think we've come to a good decision here, so I do appreciate the staff taking all the time to write it again. The only other question I have is, how will we be submitting this out for, will it just be advertised in our local paper, or will we be kind of emailing any local clubs or entities this as well?
We will actually mail them hard copies of the RFP.
Okay.
To ensure that they have.
That sounds great. I
Proper
really
documentation.
appreciate that.
No
Thank you
problem.
very
Yeah.
much.
Okay, do you need council action on that, Britt?
Please.
Okay, looking for council action.
If I,
Councilor Freely.
you know, we had a presentation that was given to us at the last committee of the whole meeting, and my major concern is that it appears that the RFP that we're going to be putting out there would be exclusive to a for-profit organization to come in and lease space. And I'm a little bit concerned about that we are eliminating the not-for-profit existing organization that was originally brought to our attention as having an interest in doing so, and I also think would be capable of doing so, but did indicate that they were not able to lease the space. So I don't know that having it as exclusive is in the best interest of the citizens of the city, to be honest with you. I really don't. I can foresee, whether I'm in error or not, the potential for it to becoming an elite fitness club for people that are card-carrying corporate members, so to speak. And that disturbs me somewhat to not have it available to the general public for an affordable price. And whether or not that's the case that may occur, I don't know, but that's what I anticipate potentially happening if we put it for a for-profit entity that comes in and runs it for us. And I don't know if Brian wants to have any further discussion with regard to that. You're the one that originally came to us with the YMCA, which I thought was a good idea, and there was some realities that we had to face with the discussion that we had, that, you know, in our region, there's only so many people. I think he mentioned about 17,000 people so that you would draw from to be able to have utilization of the facility. And at best, the potential for breaking even. And the reality is that we barely break even, if not run in the red, in other areas in the city that we run, for example, the Tennis for All, the golf course, the restaurant, all of which struggle to earn a profit, but provide opportunities and services for people to enjoy throughout the city. And I'm just hoping that the new MEC doesn't become something that's exclusive to people because of what we're pursuing to do through this RFP, which would be to gain a for-profit organization and company to come in and require corporate membership, so to speak, and card-carrying membership that may be cost prohibitive, particularly to seniors in the community who are on a fixed income. So that's my concern. I thought we heard a good presentation. It was brought up by Brian originally that we had an existing organization in the community that could potentially do this for us. But he did say, in fact, that he wouldn't be able to compete if we went with the leasing arrangement, which is indicated in the current RFP potential proposal. So I don't know if you have anything to add to that, but that's my concern, whether it's legit or not.
Or just as a point of order, we'll hold in abeyance because it was moved and supported at committee level to put this out, and there has not been a motion on the floor to do so yet, so we'll hold the motion in abeyance based on your request to have Brian make some clarifications. So Brian, would you please clarify? Thank you.
This RFP allows an entity to go one of two directions, either a monthly lease or a contract for management. So that still does have the door open for the YMCA, also opens it for organizations that are not currently in the market, such as Gold's Gym or The Rush, or one of our other fitness providers that are already here, if they would like to put in a proposal.
Okay, that's all I need to know. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Councilor Freely. Councilor Paulson?
Thank you, Mayor. With that clarification, the first draft did not have that, and then the second, the one that's in our packet, it states that on page 2 of 6. And I think that's what made me feel much more comfortable, that we were including everyone and not being exclusive. So I feel really comfortable going forward on this. And I'd like to make a motion to go ahead and move forward with the RFP process.
Okay, moved by Councilor Paulson and supported by Councilor Johnson. For the discussion, I did have one point as well. Go ahead, Councilor Bearable first.
Yeah, I have a huge issue with this right now. You're looking at apples to oranges, you're not looking at apples and apples because you're looking at nonprofit versus profitable entities in this, plus the fact that the YMCA's whole proposal is out there publicly already because it was on a public meeting that we had, and I have a huge issue with that. I cannot support this motion in this fashion. It's not fair to the YMCA as a nonprofit because their information is all out there. When you normally do RFPs, you don't have information out until all of them have put their stuff together. You don't have somebody's information out there. You look at it together and then you decide where you're going to go at your meetings. So this is a huge issue for me. Dealing with this kind of issues all through my career as a counselor of my 26 years, this is not a fair process at all. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Councilor Bearable. Councilor Johnson.
I think that, I think they're putting the cart before the horse. We're assuming we're going to get a bunch of these requests back. I think that Councilor Bearable, your point is well taken, and that can be a discussion if we get any back from anybody else. So I'll be supporting this. I think we need to be moving forward on this, see what happens.
Thank you. And I'd just like to make a quick comment. You know, I believe that nonprofits are a very important part of a community, and nonprofits do yeoman's work in moving forward and getting things accomplished in the community, no matter in what venue. And then the MEC venue, that's a great partnership to have a nonprofit involved in this process. But what I can't get past is if the nonprofit would come in and run the facility, and we glean maybe some benefits from a day membership or whatever, and they would continue to operate the facility. But for me, to pay a nonprofit to operate that facility in the amount of $20,000 a year, that kind of, I can't get past that. So I'm going to support the motion moving forward just to see what comes up. Maybe, you know, so then we'll have a better handle, understanding, and other options to consider moving forward, as opposed to just listening to one presentation. It'd be nice to have, you know, some other options to consider. So those are my comments. So it has been moved and supported. Is there any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
No.
Okay, thank you. Pam, would you please take the roll call?
Huffy,
Aye.
Baraboo,
No.
Friedlieb,
Aye.
Paulson,
Aye.
Beyondich,
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
Motion passes 5-1. Thank you.
Thank you. At the meeting, we discussed the proposal of a resolution establishing a tax increment financing district at 821 South 9th Street. The intent of this proposal, this resolution, would preserve the right to establish a TIF redevelopment district anytime over the next 3 years from the date of the resolution. It was moved and supported to adopt that resolution, finding the building substandard, which is the Miners Memorial Building, in order to establish a tax increment financing district, redevelopment district, at a future date in the next 3 years.
Also make that motion that we authorize that tax increment financing district.
Moved by Counselor Bearable. Is there support? Support by Counselor Johnson. Is there any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Mr. Brian Silber updated the council with the request to sell any surplus items we have left at the Miners Memorial Building. It was moved and supported to approve the surplus sale for park and recreation related items at the Miners Memorial Building.
So moved.
Moved to approve by Counselor Beyondich. Is there support?
Support.
Support by Counselor Friedlieb. Is there any further discussion? Will this be on due bid or? Okay, thank you. Be on due bid, so.
Yep.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Fire Chief Alan Lewis requested approval from the council for the annual recognition picnic for the Virginia Fire Department. It was moved and supported to approve the cost up to $1,200 for a meal for up to 40 employees.
So moved.
Moved for approval by Counselor Johnson. Is there support?
I'll support, Mayor.
Support by Counselor Bearable. Is there any further discussion?
Mayor?
Yes. Counselor Paulson.
Thank you. There was nothing submitted in our packet, and when Chief Lewis came forward on the committee there, I thought we had asked for him to submit something for us to approve. Do we need that or no? Like the location and the amount, or it's just a lump sum with no?
Right. I think it was $30 per employee based on 40 employees to a cost of $1,200 to be held at the Alcott Park and on Saturday, June 19th.
Okay, there's just nothing in the packet, so I didn't know if we needed something or not, but I'm fine with supporting this all the way.
It's in the Lions building, I believe.
Okay, thank you, Brian.
Okay, thank you. So let's add that in the motion, moved and supported to approve that, and the location will be at the Alcott Park in the Lions building. Okay, moved and supported. Is there any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
The city HR department has conducted interviews, has taken applications, conducted interviews, and is now bringing forward the recommendation to approve hiring a heavy equipment operator. We would like to offer the job position to Douglas Hohenstein as the full-time heavy equipment operator with a start date on or after June 9th, contingent upon a successful background check and pre-employment physical.
So
And
moved.
that, okay, moved by Counselor Johnson, and is there support?
Support.
Support by Counselor Paulson to move and approved to hire a heavy equipment operator for the Public Works Department is Doug Lowenstein, is that correct?
Hohenstein?
Thank you. Provided it meets all the requirements of the city hiring policy. Is there any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
It was moved and supported to approve the quote for 4 sets of turnout gear for the fire department at a cost of $17,909.60, and this is a budgeted item.
So moved.
Moved by
support.
Counselor Johnson and supported by Counselor Bearable. Is there any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Bill Hennis, Public Works Director, gave an update on the request for repair of the fine filter screens at the wastewater treatment facility. It was moved and supported to approve the quote for the fine filter screens at the wastewater treatment plant from GNE in the amount of $12,995.
Also move, Mayor.
Moved by Counselor Bearable and supported by
I'll support for further discussion.
Counselor Freely. Further discussion? Counselor
Real
Freely.
quickly, it seems like we've done this already in the recent past, and I'm just wondering what the life of these things are.
We did approve it recently, but we never installed them. So this is a redo of
Oh, okay.
that last time we talked about it.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Moved and supported. Is there any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
We did have discussion regarding the request from 607 Fifth Street South and a closure of an unplatted alley. We have done some more investigation, and I would just want to inform the council we'll be bringing it back to the committee of the whole again at the next committee of the whole
Thank
meeting.
you. Thank you.
Thank you. Then the final item, it was moved and supported to approve the sale of parcel ID 090-0030-07450, which is legally described as Lot 4, Block 100, Virginia 2nd Edition, and to allow staff to work accordingly to complete this transaction. I do want to note that we will have to have an easement on there. There is a utility line that goes through that.
And is there amount addressed?
$500.
Thank you.
I'll move to approve.
Counselor Paulson moves to approve, supported by Counselor Johnson, to approve the sale of the parcel ID as previously described in the amount of $500. Is there any further discussion?
This would be the first reading.
First reading. Thank you. Thank you, Britt. First reading. Hearing no other discussion, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
I have no further items from that meeting.
Thank you, Britt. We'll move to item 10, Commission Liaison Reports. Does any counselor have a Commission Liaison report that they'd like to provide this evening? Seeing none, we'll move to item, I think let's skip to item 12, Council Reports. Does any city councilor have a report they'd like to give before we move back to item 11? Okay, yes, Counselor Johnson.
I'll put another plug in for the summer reading program, just because I've got kids already involved, and they've done a great job, and they're getting folks out around the school, so good job to the library staff again for the summer reading program. It's a great thing.
Absolutely, thank you. And thank you, Jody. You're in the audience. Jody Grebanowski, our library director. Thank you.
If I could, Mayor?
Yes, Counselor Friedlieb.
Just a quick kudos to a neighbor in the 8th Street, 6th Avenue area that assisted in helping a neighbor complete a painting job that needed to be accomplished. And so thank you very much for stepping forward and taking the initiative in a neighborly way to help people get things accomplished.
Well, thank you. That's just one example. I think you're pointing out, Counselor Friedlieb, of the generosity and the volunteers that we have in this community. So thank you for that comment. So, okay, Counselor Johnson.
I also need to point out that our police and fire department made national recognition viral by saving ducklings from by the library. It was a slow day that day, but are getting a lot of positive feedback. Not quite sure how the ducks got that far. Maybe they were interested in the summer reading program.
Well, I think, not to belabor this anymore, but before you came on, Jody, there was actually ducks that were nesting right in the sign in the very front. They had a nest for a couple of years, 3-4 years in a row, didn't they, Brian? Boy, they did. So they were pointing out. So kids were riding their bicycles, and there were people that were in the library, and they were trying to protect the ducks there and taking pictures of it. So yeah, I think they were looking for a nesting opportunity. So thank you. It must be welcoming for not only people but for ducks. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Steve. Okay, we'll move on to item 11, department head reports, item 11.A and 11.B, discussion of preliminary negotiations for property transactions. And this portion of the meeting is be closed pursuant to Minnesota Statute 13D.05, 13D.05 Subdivision 3, and also 11B, which is the adopting of the resolution establishing procedures relating to compliance with reimbursement bond regulations under the Internal Revenue Code. So both of these are to be in closed session. So I'm looking for a motion to recess the council meeting, to go into closed session, to discuss these items, and then reconvene. Motion to
make that
close
motion.
by Counselor Beyondich. Is there support? Support by Counselor Friedlieb. Is there any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. We're now in closed session, and we'll